Yellow just walking in the house in my road, gotta make her put it on. She don't like wearing clothes, just left Concord, North Carolina. I was licking on booty and a whole lot of vagina. Eat a boozer with some ice cream, she'll remember you. Ice Cube make it chip, shiver like the winter do.
See me with the crew, I had to get some food. I see you looking like you do. Had to make a move,
Started. Please don't get me started. Started. Please don't get me started.
What up, y'all? Sinead Almighty, aka the Global Dark-Skinned Ambassador, with another Rikers Island story with a top 10 list. And we gonna get straight to it. These are the top 10 hardest, most painful lessons you will learn in jail/prison. And this is going off of Rikers Island, all right? But this applies to all counties, all prisons, you know what I'm saying? Before we get to it, I wanna say welcome to my channel. Go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell. Without further ado, let's get it. This is the top 10. This is in no particular order, but all these things are equally as important. These are the 10 hardest, most painful lessons you will learn in jail/prison. Number 1, violence is the only way to get your point across, and there's no way around that. There's no way around that, all right? There's no way around that at all. Violence is the way. Violence is the number one courtesy in Rikers Island. It's the number one courtesy in jail, period. If you're not a person who gonna let your nuts hang, if you're not a person who, you don't gotta be the most oppressive person, but if you're not somebody who will get violent at a moment's notice when the time is called, you have a hard time. You have a hard time. And when I say it's a painful lesson, it's because you could not want to be violent all you want, right? Somebody's gonna come for you. Somebody's gonna do some type of harm to you. It don't matter if you deserve it or not. These things happen. The more you try to avoid it, the more you're gonna bring pressures upon you, period. Number 2, your girl is a slut and there's no way around it. Listen, there's a thing the COs used to say to us when we was in Rikers Island. You'll come in, they'll see you all lovey-dovey on the phone. They'll be like, how long you and your girl been together? Y'all got kids? I give her 6 months. 6 months, based off of who your girl was already before you got locked up, based off of her sexual drive, her libido, right? Based off of whatever she was doing already before you got locked up. You're gonna find out that your girl is a harlot. You're gonna find out that your girl is a smitty. You know what I'm saying? Your girl's a 304. You're gonna find that out in a lot of situations, all right? It happens to the best of us, you know what I'm saying? I had a girl that I thought I loved. She at least spoke to me on the phone all the time for 11 months straight, but at some point, she went ahead and got back with the person who she lost her virginity to while I was locked up, right? Devastated me for 2 weeks to a month. Also, when I was in the Marge, all right, there was this dude from Queens. I made a video about this before. He found out that his girl, who he was in love with, got pregnant by his best friend, and she was gonna have the baby. Chances are she already was dipping, and you know what I'm saying, before he even went to jail. She decided to go public with it while he was locked up. Not in all situations, but in, I'ma say, most situations, you're gonna find out who your girl really is. And if you lucky, you'll find out why you in jail instead of her pretending to be somebody she not during your whole bid. And then you come home and you find out all the slime things she was doing. Okay? You will find out. The truth always comes to the light. Number 3, you're a pussy. And there's no way around it, all right? When you go, it don't matter who you shooting, who you was jumping out of town, stabbing, slashing. When you go to jail, when you go to prison, and all you got is your own fist, your own Merry Fistmas, you got to deal with whatever it is that you got to deal with. And you then have to question yourself and really be honest with yourself and say, I can't handle this. I'm not built for this. I thought I was. You know what I'm saying? One thing happens about jail is either you gonna come in thinking you super tough, right? Super duper tough, tougher than you really are. You gonna get punched in your face a couple times, or you gonna fall. You might go to PC, or you might just be with it and get extorted. Other times you gonna go in, you ain't even know you had this much of a lion in you. You know what I'm saying? You gonna realize you ain't even know you had this much of a lion in you. You feel me? That's what happens. And if you don't have that much of a lion in you, you'll learn the painful lesson that your booty, your butt, your booty meat. Moving on to number 4. Your own people do you worse than the insiders, than the outsiders. Now, I'm personally calling out my own people, black people, right? No other gang oppresses their own people. Within the prison system, within Rikers Island, that I've seen, that I've heard about, and that I know about for sure, than black people, okay? Nobody oppresses their neutrals of their same nationality like black people. When I was in Rikers Island, it's like if no one can vouch for you that was a part of a gang, if you want blood, Crip, or YG at the time, chances are you was gonna be due for some type of oppression, and serious oppression. You could be broke, minding your business, right? Too broke to be extorted, right? You get beat up. You get picked on for being broke. You have to take violations for being broke. You have to do custodial work then all the time. You have to sweep the day room all the time, mop the day room all the time. You might have to Maytag and wash people's drawers, all right? Your own people do you foul. Do you foul. Foul. A lot of times, some of the most loved, even though I had issues with certain Spanish people, right? A lot of times, if I happen to be broke at the time, a random Spanish person who was either Latin King or Patia or neutral Spanish dude would be like, hey, papi, my friend, you hungry? You hungry? Not to say that black men in gangs didn't do that with black neutrals as well, show love. But what I'm saying is it's way more hate, way more supremacy, way more oppression than you would even deal with than what's standard for dealing with the Spanish gangs. You feel me? Moving on to number 5. You can get your boot smoked at any point over the smallest situations, all right? We all from New York. We know what we call reckless eyeballing, which half the time is not reckless eyeballing. It's just looking around and happening to catch eye contact with the wrong oppressive person. Reckless eyeballing, stepping on somebody's sneakers, making a mistake, bumping into the wrong person, all right? Participating in snapping and making fun of somebody who's making fun of you first, and you say something to hurt their feelings, okay? Refusing to let people extort you, right? You get beat up for that. It's no way around that. It's no way around that, and you got to deal with that and be aggressive. No way around that. You know what I'm saying? Number 6. And this is more for prison than county in New York, but they want your booty and they're gonna take it. They want your booty. Do you understand that in prison, you'll want protection, right? From all other people who are not black, right? You'll want protection So you'll join a gang, and in order to have protection from that gang, you gotta take it up the anal crevice, right? You gotta take a Frank in your buns and be predatored on. I think I invented that word just now, predatored on, right? Just so you won't be predatored on. Like, you gotta choose between getting your booty taken by black, white, and Spanish people, or just getting your booty taken by black people. In a lot of situations, not all, but guess what? The Bloods are doing this, the Crips are doing this. They're all doing it in some way or fashion when you living in the max. They're booty bandits. So for all of that, you might as well just be a wild tycoon and just worry about yourself, or I guess you could turn Muslim. But who knows what the Muslims is doing in the max? I'm not giving nobody the benefit of the doubt. Period, man. Moving on to number 7. You're a modern slave in real time. Hard labor. Subjugation to interrogation and violence from the slave master, the corrections officers. People of your same nationality are hired by the masters to oversee you and snitch on you. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a banshee. You know what I'm saying? It's modern day slavery. I don't even need to say more on that. Number 8. Probably top 2-3 hardest lessons you're gonna learn. Your friends don't care about you. And even if they do, they don't have time for you. Those of us who did biz before, I believe we all could say that, some of our friends looked out for us here and there, right? But in all due reality, especially if you was young, they out there living their lives. A lot of them are broke. A lot of them are starting to have families at this time, right? They may pick up the phone for you, but as far as sending you money, helping take care of you, you got yourself in the jail. But even if you took a charge for people, them people not gonna hold you down the way you may have wanted them to do. And you gotta face the reality, which is that they don't have enough time to deal with you, be worried about you because you locked up. They outside in the free world. They dealing with more than you, right? A lot of times you're gonna find out they never cared about you, man. They sleeping with your girl. They trying to sleep with your girl. They not checking up on your kids. They not checking up on your mother, right? And then, like I did, you go home. You let go all the resentment that you had because you just happened to be home. It happens, right? Number 9, if you controlled your emotions, you wouldn't even be there. Once again, top 2 or 3 most important lessons, How many of us have been locked up with people who caught murders in the heat of the moment? And you could tell they stressed out. They may even say they wish that they would have just thought. They would have just went home. They would have wished that they didn't step outside with the gun on them that day. They wish that they didn't get into an argument with that girl that day. They gonna wish, instead of going after their enemy, right? They went home to make love to their woman. And this is a hard lesson that a lot of people have to relive and think about for the rest of their lives because they're not going home, unfortunately. And moving on to number 10, which is the hardest lesson. If you have any compassion for anyone other than yourself, your loved ones are suffering on the outside with you. Personally, it hurt me talking to my sister and my sister telling me how my mother has been drinking and calling people in the family, crying, bawling, talking about how she misses me, her only son, her baby, right? Her youngest child, right? Saying that she's happy at least that she knows where I'm at. And she don't gotta worry about me being in the streets, getting into trouble, possibly getting myself harmed. But the fact that she carried me for 9 months and she gotta see me in a prison suit. She gotta see me in handcuffs when I go to court. The depression that my mother went through while I was locked up. Someone who already, she had 3 kids. She would have had maybe 2 more kids if it wasn't for miscarriages, right? She had her oldest daughter, her middle child, which is her youngest daughter, who passed over a decade before that. And now she got her baby who's locked up. And now she only got 1 son. As somebody who watches the happiness in my mother's face, because you know my mother lives down here in South Carolina. The happiness in my mother's face when my sister comes down to visit. And she's so happy. She has her 2 surviving children. Because, you know, my sister Taisha passed away years ago, like 99 or something like that. But the joy in my mother's face, the energy, the big smile in my mother's face when she sees her 2 surviving children together, who she can laugh with, joke with, cook for, hug and kiss on, right? I know the depression. My mother went through more pain and suffering than I did. Luckily for me, I didn't have kids. I wasn't married. But imagine what people's kids are going through. Imagine what people's wives are going through, you know? On top of the fact that it's always a possibility you're losing loved ones. I'm gonna end this video here, man. Like, share, comment, subscribe. These were the top 10 most hardest, painful lessons and unavoidable lessons you will learn from Rikers Island /county/prison. Peace.